All right, guys, we're going to keep it going here. Microsoft Word testing review, part 4. And in here, we're going to look at formatting text. And we're going to see what we might have to do on our certification test. A little quick review on text. So for number 22, we're going to have to open the document called text. So navigate to your account here and grab the document called text. I'll also attach all these documents to my personal website, certifix.weebly.com. I'll also attach this to my YouTube page so you guys can grab all this good stuff. Text, boom, downloaded, pop that open, and enable text. All right, and there's a lot we could actually do with this document. It's a huge document, and I've kind of modified this document. I forget where I always like to give credit to where I get these documents from. I did not come up with this document, but we'll see what we have to do here. All right, so let's go back and kind of check this out. What do we have to do with text in Microsoft Word? And if you haven't already closed this out, go ahead and do so. Close out your pictures practice from part 3 and don't save it. Don't save it just in case you want to go back and practice it again before you take the test. You have a fresh copy, or you can just download a fresh copy from my website or from my YouTube page. Subscribe. All right, let's get going. Add the image river JPEG from the pictures folder below the text on the sidebar. So I'm going to go ahead and modify this too, because this question on your actual test, they're going to have you going to the sidebar. And I'm just going to say that we're going to pretend like this picture right here is our sidebar. And on the sidebar of your in your document of your test, they're going to want you to insert a picture. So under the Insert tab, you have 3 different options when it comes to illustrations. You have pictures, online pictures, shapes, and you have a few others here. But for pictures, you can actually just look at online pictures for this question. And online pictures, you'll get 2 different options here. You'll get Bing Image Search and you'll get your OneDrive Personal. So for Bing Image Search, let's just look for river. And let's see what comes up. I'm going to grab this first one here and just say insert. They just want you to insert a picture of a river into your sidebar. Now, on your actual test, they're going to give you the picture they want you to use called river to use on your test. So you're not going to use the online pictures. You're going to say insert and you're going to go to pictures. All right, but you can see here I only have like one stupid picture of like the last video I recorded. So I don't want to put that in there. And I think it is. I think they do want you using a picture of river or something like that. Anyway, so that's the sidebar thing. Set the line spacing so the entire document is double spaced. Remember in the last video, I introduced a shortcut to select all. You're going to say Control A for this one to select the entire document. And under the Home tab, you're going to see under the paragraph group, you're going to see line spacing, and you can set your line spacing to double spaced. All right, boom, done. Let's move on. Add a banded cover page. Delete the company address placeholder. All right, so banded cover page. We're going to go scroll all the way up. We're going to say under the Insert tab, you're going to say Pages, and you're going to see Cover Page. All right, and you have banded cover page here. When you say Insert banded cover page, it's going to give you a new page 1. You can kind of click into these fields and kind of fill them in. It's a template. It's kind of cool. And down here, you're going to see something that says company address. And they're going to want us to delete this company address thing. So just kind of click in back of it and literally backspace it a few times until you actually get rid of that word address. I shouldn't be able to click in here and see that placeholder for address. And let me undo that again so you can see. After I backspace one time, I still have my placeholder of the address. I've just deleted my text. So just backspace one more time and get rid of the address placeholder, just like that. All right, and that's all that question wants you to do. Oh, let me go over one more thing. I have seen another one where it wants you to change the line spacing instead of deleting the placeholder. It wants you to change the line spacing of the placeholder to something called like exactly 14 points or something. And here's that keyword exactly 14 points tells you that you have to go over here to the paragraph tools because you can't do this under just line spacing. You have to click your little options box here, and under line spacing, notice how this breaks down. You have general, indentation, and spacing. Under line spacing, you have this weird like exactly, and then you have at least and multiple. So I've seen test questions that want you to do like exactly 14-point spacing. And all it does is literally give you exactly 14 points between your author and your company address. All right, so let's move on, just in case that happens to you. Insert a banded header that will not be displayed on the first page. So under the, let's go down here, under the Insert tab, you're going to see header footers. And under header, you're going to see banded header. All right, when you click on banded header, you're actually going to notice that you jump into something called header footer tools, and you have a couple options here. It says different first page, different odd and even pages, and show document text. So what they want you to do is uncheck this so it doesn't show on the first page. It says different first page. So you want to literally uncheck, you want to put a check that says different first page so that your header doesn't show up on the first page. All right, if you uncheck it, your header will show up on the first page. And remember, our first page is this cover page is what I'm trying to say. But so put a check where it says different first page and then hit close header footer. And you won't see it because we have this weird picture, but if you scoot the picture, you'll actually see that you can see your header on the title page. It's not on the actual first page of the document, but it should be on our other pages, and it's not, which is a problem. This is just a bad document actually to practice that header footer stuff with anyway, especially with that cover page. So we'll look at that again here in just a second. I'm going to keep moving on. So just make sure you follow the list here. It says check the box that says different first page. When you put in a banded header, make sure you check that box that says different first page. All right, and let's finish this up and make this a real quick little video tutorial. After the section break on page 6, change the orientation to landscape. So I touched on this in the last video. So after the section break on page 6, we don't even know where the section break is until you turn on show hide. And then if you scroll through your document, you're going to start to see your breaks in your document. And according to this, we're on page 6 right now, so it's obviously not on page 6. There it is. There's the section break. So here's what this does. It says that if I click above this, I'm going to turn all the pages above this landscape orientation. If I click below this, it's going to turn all the pages below this section break landscape orientation. Let's try that out. So under the layout tab, under orientation, if I click above the section break and I say landscape, notice how the below the line, it is still portrait orientation. If I click below the section break and I say orientation and say landscape, it changes everything below that section break to landscape orientation, which I think is what it wants. Click after the break on page 6 in the page setup group. Yep, landscape. All right. So on your test, what they're going to want you to do is isolate like one page to turn landscape orientation and keep the rest of your document portrait orientation. Okay. So be careful there. You got to find your breaks and you got to make sure you click in between your breaks to turn your page landscape or portrait orientation. So let's just say that I just wanted to turn this page. All right, let me undo this again. I just want to turn this page, page 8, landscape orientation, and I want all the other pages to stay portrait. That means I need a page break right here too. If I put a continuous page break right here, it's going to isolate this page so that when I say orientation, landscape orientation, it's going to turn only page 8, landscape orientation, because of that page break. All right. And that's what that continuous page break does. It isolates the formatting changes that you're going to make to your document. Okay. So I'm going to call it a day right there. That's a real quick little something about text. Also, real quick, under the Home tab for text, don't forget that you have all these different styles. So text styles are really important in Microsoft Word. If I were to say that this little heading, let's say that I want this to be a heading 1, and I set that to a heading 1 in my document. Now this atop Monteagle thing has become part of my table of contents. So the styles are really, really important in Microsoft Word. I don't think we touched on that in this lesson, but we did in the prior lesson. All right, that's it for this one.